Hi there, this is Tony Grossbeck, and we're going to continue our discussion about how to write a research paper. At this point, you should have your outline done. If you're watching this video, this is the part 2. This is the compose part of the video. By now, you should have your outline written, all your research done, and you should be ready to just let it flow, to write a rough draft. So, in composing a rough draft, you need to be thinking like a composer, somebody who just lets the music flow out of them. That's the idea. So it's a very artistic part of the process. Now, the composition step has just 3 parts, and the idea here is to let it flow. The first one, the introduction. Okay, so you're going to break the writing process down to 3 different parts. First is the introduction. A couple tips about writing an introduction. Don't get stuck trying to make the intro perfect, because you can and probably will change it later. So make sure that you can move on. Don't get too focused on getting it perfect right away. You want to get to the rest of the essay as well. One thing that often helps, is something that Jane Schaefer called the hook. The first sentence of an essay is you want to get people in and grab their attention, get them going. Sometimes it's nice to start with a little quote or an anecdote, a little tiny story. And by tiny, I mean 2 or 3 sentences, not much longer than that. All you're trying to do with your introduction is move it towards your thesis statement. That's the most important part of your intro, and it comes right at the end. You can see it right here. You should end with your thesis statement being clearly written. Now that means end your introduction, so it's the end of the beginning, so to speak. It should be your thesis statement. So once you get that done, then you can move on to your body paragraphs. Okay, now your body paragraphs, the number of these will vary depending on the essay length. So, for our class right now, of course, we're doing a 5-paragraph essay, which means that you will have 3 body paragraphs. Just the 3 paragraphs in the middle are body paragraphs. Now, remember, at this point, you have your outline done. So all you have to do is just start plugging away. All of the info that you need should be on your outline. The guide, the map that you need, it should be your outline. So now you just need to drive. Just take the trip and enjoy it. Just start writing sentences. Compose sentences as freely as you can, almost as if you were speaking. Sometimes that's the best way to write a rough draft. We talked about in class with some of our kids actually getting a recorder like their iPod or something, if it can record you, or your phone, and just read through your rough draft like you're giving a speech. And I think that what will happen there is a lot of those sentences that you use, you'll actually be able to just transcribe those into a rough draft. Is that the way you should always do it? I don't know. It might work for you. It might not. But in any case, you want it to be as free-flowing as you possibly can. Now, understand, you don't need to worry about mistakes and stuff right now, because you're going to change all of that later. You're going to go through and smooth out your rough draft paragraphs later. So right now, the body paragraphs are just about plugging and chugging through the outline. Just get it done. Okay, get that rough draft finished. This should be kind of a pleasurable experience for you. Then the conclusion. This is the 3rd step, is writing the conclusion at the end. One thing that's important is you can and you should restate your thesis here, just to kind of wrap it up. Maybe in the first paragraph of your conclusion, or first sentence of your conclusion paragraph. But make sure you don't get repetitive. You don't want to start repeating stuff in your conclusion. That gets really boring and it drags out the ending. The idea here is just to get it done. End it. Okay, finish your paper with something strong. 3 sentences is fine. You restate your thesis, make a couple of commentaries, and that's it. Please, in my class, some teachers might not mind this, but please don't say, "Thank you for reading my paper." Don't refer to your paper. That is so frustrating for me. And while we're on that topic, please don't go in your intro up here, in your introduction. Please don't say, "For my paper, I'm going to write about XYZ." Don't do that, okay? Just start writing about it. Now, in your rough draft, if that's something you want to try and do and then get rid of it later, and then it just gets the ball rolling for you, that would be okay, but you don't want to leave that in your final draft. That would be bad news, okay? So, honestly, that's pretty much all you need to know about the composition step. It's really an easy step. Most of the work in a research paper is done in the pre-writing step down here on number 1 and in the revision step up there on number 3. If you look, they're even busier. They have more stuff in the little boxes, and that kind of thing. So just make sure that you try and enjoy yourself in the composition step, and hopefully that will work for you.